Man, so much has happened in the last 24 hours. We're going to talk a lot about Davos and about what's being said there. We have people stating that's on these committees that AI will replace the Bible. There will be no Bible. So again, people, buy your physical Bibles, by the way. We're going to discuss that. We're also going to discuss how these EU players, how they're supposed to be our friend, how they're turning right into the arms of China. You know what it looks like? It looks like they cannot defend themselves in any situation, so they're going to try to kowtow to one of the superpowers. And now, since America's holding their feet to the fire, EU starts to grift. We're going to discuss that and what is being said about that and our money. Also, we're going to discuss one of the biggest players when it comes to gold, when it comes to silver, when it comes to just the markets and the dangers of the economy. He says we're going to see something worse than what we saw in 2008. Now, we've heard this, but the more we hear this, do I want to see our economy go through turmoil? No. But do I believe it will because we have bad players in Congress and Senate that waste our money? Ilhan Omar went from $42 to $25 million in one single year in her bank account. That shows that those people are not actually worried about our dollars. They're worried about making money on our dollars. Wait till you hear some of these stories that we're going to be talking about. Also, how the Congress and Senate have let us down again. One of Trump's appointees just lost a chance to actually be a attorney general through the Trump administration. One of the deputies and was a firebrand, a great asset. And the Senate did not confirm her, and all of a sudden, the Democratic judge got to appoint somebody. It's called the blue slip. Again, this is why our Congress and Senate are worthless. I say that too much, but it's the truth. We're going to dive into all these stories and then I have a personal story at the end. Please stay tuned to it because it means the world to me what happened. Hopefully I won't get emotional. We'll discuss it. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm so humbled, again, by you coming back and watching our content each and every day. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about Davos, and Trump is making his way over there. You know, he had some plane troubles yesterday, but ultimately arrived there today. Now, a few things that's been said. I love the fact that Scott Bessent called out the fact that EU wants to fight Russia, but ultimately they can't make it without Russian oil. Isn't that funny? I love how the Trump administration is going over to Davos and not kowtowing to these people. They're telling them the truth. They're saying you're dogging out Russia at the same time you're buying the fuel and oil to make your people not freeze to death and make to where you can cook. So it shows that EU and Europe and most of these countries are so worthless. And without America or without a big player, a superpower, they can't seem to make it. Prime example, that's why Emmanuel Macron wearing his stupid glasses because his wife probably beat him up. He states that he wants to do more deals and wants to believe that China is the next best player when it comes to France. Well, the only reason they say that is just a spat in the face to America. But these are supposed to be our friends, right? So why do we keep giving money to NATO? Why do we keep giving money to these countries if all they do is go against us? I honestly believe, I'm just being completely honest, I do believe Europe will be an enemy to America within the next 10 years. This goes along with what Canada has said. They're wanting to utilize China more. So we're seeing, quote unquote, our allies, the people that are supposedly having our back, the people that take our money and cannot make it. Their economies cannot make it without American tax dollars. And yet, they're trying to spit in our face. I want you to listen to some of the things said, and then we're going to go to how they want to replace the Bible. I mean, just crazy. Let's go to what Macron just said. In a stunning reversal, the leftist global alliances are in tatters. French President Emmanuel Macron has openly declared Europe is needing to roll out the red carpet for massive Chinese investment, basically stating that we screwed it up, we can't get our crap together, America's tending to pull away from us and trying to hold our feet to the fire to make us pay more with the defense spending in NATO, and also they're trying to do what they want to do. And so, therefore, we just need to involve China. Like China's going to be any easier on the French people. It's unbelievable. But it shows that Trump is, like I told you yesterday with Glenn Beck, he's putting stressors on these people to see who they really are, faithful to. Are they faithful to the American way? The people that give them money? No, they're faithful to anybody who gives them money. They're a true grifter. So what Macron is saying is, I want to be able to play business with China, so maybe I can get better benefits because America's trying to actually make me do something for my money. Listen to what von der Leyen said. She, again, Ursula von der Leyen, who is supposed to be their EU counsel, who's their economic advisor, their biggest player in the EU. And then listen to what she says. EU is on the cusp of making the mother of all deals with India. Europe has always chose to be part of the world, and the world is ready to choose Europe. These people are so lost. Europe is such a lost thing. It's in the middle of, it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild. You know, you have the big players, which is America, Russia, China. You have India coming up. You have the Middle East that always grabs attention. And then you have Europe. And I think they want to be relevant, so they do all these stupid things, and ultimately they're going to become the new Middle East because of Islamification and migrant crisis. And they're, again, at Davos talking about how they should keep on doing that. It's unbelievable. Swiss leader came out and stated that we don't need America anymore to protect us. Man, they're giving us every avenue to get out of NATO. Why in the world are we not getting out of NATO? You know what's so funny? Mark Rutte, who is over NATO, here he is, you know, all these EU people are trying to speak against us, but he come out and states, I mean, like literally, he's like, wait, without, you know, America, we couldn't do it. He actually literally came out and approved the Greenland deal, that America's push for Greenland might be the best way. See, this proves that he knows who wets his whistle. He knows who is in control. It's Trump in the USA. I love what not only Scott Bessent said, but Howard Lutnick came out and stated, look, you people are globalists and y'all have failed. You have failed. Even Klaus Schwab said, we have failed. So Howard Lutnick says the new way is America is pushing industry and pushing trade across the world, and we can all be great, but ultimately it takes not a global push, it takes each country standing for its own people. Again, why do we not have our Senate and Congress doing the same thing? Did you know that Gavin Newsom's over there talking bad about our president? To me, I don't understand that. I don't even understand why a governor is in Davos. California may be a great economy, but ultimately it's got its own problems. And the last thing I want one of our governors to do is to be over dogging out our president. I don't think that makes sense, does it? Does it? Why is he over there? Makes no sense. Now, Trump is coming, and I think they said he's going to have some fiery words for the globalists, and I hope he does. But ultimately what we're seeing come out of this is that the EU and the European Union and all the big players over there are pretty much going to do whatever it takes to try to stay on top. And they're not on top. They just want to ride the coattails. And if they can't ride America's coattails anymore, their goal is to move to China, and therefore we may have friends. So why in the world are we staying in NATO and investing in all these countries? 193 countries get our tax dollars. I'm sick of that. Especially when they come out and spit in our face like Canada and France did just this week. And von der Leyen, how she is trying to work a deal with India instead of working with America. It's really pathetic. And to be honest with you, this proves my point, like Scott Bessent said. He said, look, these people have no power. They're literally buying fuel from the country that they're quote-unquote in war with. They said without Russia, they couldn't even get to a winner. So who's the real loser now? It's January again, and everyone's making these New Year's resolutions. Well, the smartest people are making one monster resolution. One thing to impact their life. The biggest skill and the most growth opportunity for 2026. AI. From the simple text that it started in 2019, to where now it's detecting diseases, automating work, and even while we're sleeping, it's doing all the tasks that we wanted it to do. Looking at how it's advancing, 2026 will be probably the peak when it comes to AI. Think about all the knowledge you've lost and all the things that you didn't learn in the last 6 years. Now you can reclaim them in just 2 days. Let me introduce you. Outskill is the first ever AI-focused educational platform to accelerate AI learning for people like you and me. They're hosting a 2-day event, a mastermind, training live this Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on both days. And right now is the perfect moment to join because you can get in absolutely free as part of the New Year's Upscaling Fest. This 16-hour AI training has already built 10 million plus AI first professionals worldwide and is rated 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot. People from marketing, finance, operations, down to even engineering. They're joining this workshop so they can learn the things they need to know about AI. This is where you learn how to build AI agents and plan right, execute, and report for you. Automate workflows that run even while you're asleep. Connect tools like Sheets, Notion, CRMs, and email to create profitable systems. Use AI to save hours every week and get an unfair advantage on work. Not just that, you also will learn how to profit from these skills. People from this very training have launched AI-powered services that bring $2,000 to $3,000 weekly by applying these systems that they are taught. To kickstart your year, you also get a premium lifetime bonus like AI Prompts Bible, the AI Profit Roadmap, your personalized AI Toolkit Builder, only if you attend both days. And here's the most interesting part when you sign up. You will get access to the 2026 AI Survival Hackbook, a comprehensive compilation of upcoming AI shifts and practical steps that you can take to be prepared in 2026. Seats are limited. Use the link in the description to join. Hey, by the way, P.S. Join the WhatsApp community to stay updated before the big blast. Now, you know we talk about AI and the dangers of it all the time. We talk about how it's taking jobs. Let this program help you. It's a phenomenal deal. Sign up below. Check out Outskill today. Now, let's jump into another story dealing with Davos, because this is where it gets real serious real fast. This is from Yuval Harari, which again is such an evil man. I'm serious. He's so evil. But listen to this. It says, Yuval Harari spoke, and he said at this event, he said, AI will soon take control of the Bible. I want you to listen to this passage from Psalms 12:6. The word of the Lord is pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of the earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord. Thou shalt preserve them from the generations forever. The Bible will withstand this. But this is why it's so important to have a physical Bible. This is why it's so important to not trust people that says this kind of stuff, that wants to use. And I told you this not too long ago, how I believe that the Antichrist and the push for end times can easily be manipulated by AI. There's some great things that could come out of AI. I know that. I'm not saying that everything is going to be bad, but I'm saying when there is a power-hungry group of individuals that want power and seek selfishness and is truly willing to step on other people to get it, what better way than to destroy something that's so precious and sacred to us? Now, they can't destroy it, but they can do all they can to ultimately change the wording in it. And what do we do more than anything? We look at our phones. What if all of a sudden they want to manipulate the wording there? This is evil, pure evil. These are the people that we believe run the world. Well, if they truly run the world, why in the world do we give them that power? Now, people are like, oh, you can't change it. You're just a guy from Mississippi. I'm just a guy from Alabama. I'm just a guy from Arkansas. Bottom line is, we're 75 million people that voted for Trump. We have the most 2A rights in the world. We have the most powerful defenses in the world. We have the most powerful leader in the world. And you're telling me we can't fix it? No, we can. I think here's the thing, though. We're too lackadaisical and lazy to actually stand up and go out and protest and actually push for the things we want. For instance, just yesterday, let me read this, because this is, again, shows how worthless your Congress is. Interim U.S. Attorney Lindsey Halligan steps down after Senate block. Halligan appointed September 22nd, 2025 by Attorney General Pam Bondi. Again, this was appointed by Trump. Persecuted violent criminals, murderers, and child abusers while serving in Virginia. Democrat Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine blocked her nomination, withholding blue slips, meaning, here's the thing. Here's how this works, and this is so deviant by the Senate and Congress. They chose not to put her up. Thune chose not to use the Republican fact that they have the power to put this lady through, who Trump wants. This shows they don't love Trump because they're actually holding all his people up. The Democrats were able to use what they call a blue slip, meaning that this lady cannot get through, and guess what happens? The judge who is appointed by Biden and Obama gets to choose who this person is now. So we have a Republican president, Republican Senate, Republican Congress, and we're going to end up having a liberal a deputy attorney general in this area, all because Republicans have no backbone, and they allow the Democrats to do what they want. What's going to happen if the Democrats win the Senate? You watch if they don't get rid of the filibuster and wreak havoc on Trump. See, but this is why you have to get rid of these Republicans. I know people say, oh, vote don't matter. Well, if 75 million people voted, and if you were informed in your own states and quit voting for the same people, I believe we could actually change America. We really could. But we choose not to because we choose to not get ourselves in the fight. Christians are the worst about this. Now, I'm a conservative Christian that goes to a Southern Baptist church. Here's what you hear in most churches. Well, we're above all that. We're supposed to love people. Yeah, but there's times for righteous anger. And there's times for us to stand up for what we believe in. That doesn't mean that we don't obey the law. That doesn't mean that. I mean, we obey the law. But what it does mean is we should be the ones standing up bold as lions to make change in America and across the globe. We have people telling us that the Bible will be no more. We have leaders doing what they want to do and stealing our money. Ilhan Omar went from $42. They're fixing to put an investigation on her, which nothing will happen. This is why I hate Republicans. They will do an investigation of Ilhan Omar. They'll embarrass her, but they will do nothing to her. They couldn't even censure her. Thomas Massey wouldn't even vote to censure her, and several other Republicans too. But if she goes from $42 in her account in a 1 year's time to $25 million, I just don't know if there's any investment that's big. For some reason, it goes along with the fact that she's Somali from Minnesota that's going through a lot of fraud right now. Why can't we put two and two together? Why can't Pam Bondi arrest these people? Glenn Beck went and scorched earth yesterday on Pam Bondi. I'm finally happy that some of these Republicans are standing up against some of these Trump picks. I love Trump, but Pam Bondi's worthless. I mean, she hasn't went for any of these situations. I love when they're like, well, we got boots on the ground over there. Well, if it takes you 4 years to prosecute them, but Merrick Garland can prosecute somebody in a month, we have bad people in the DOJ. It's time to actually fix this. But see, this is the problem. We have people not getting put in that Trump wanted because of Republicans' weakness. We have Democrats still doing what they want and still getting away with fraud. If we don't start standing up, we will not have a country. That brings me to another point. Again, rich man has been in the School of Austrian economics and believes in gold and silver. And again, I have a great push for gold and silver coming up in the next few weeks because I do believe that we don't understand how valuable precious metals are. But I want you to listen to what Peter Schiff just said. He said, what we're seeing with the U.S. financial crisis is going to be worse than 2008, and it's coming just this year. He said, we cannot keep on refinancing all these debts at higher prices. We cannot still print money like we're doing. We cannot do fractional lending like the banks are doing. We're seeing Bitcoin go down. We see the fact that the dollar is not worth as much as it is. We see that gold and silver are skyrocketing. That's all telltale signs that our economy is faltering. Now remember, Michael Burry pulled out of the market. Warren Buffett just retired. We have Ray Dalio moved a lot of his offices and some of his own personal money and family to UAE, getting away from the American system. This could be setting up for major problems. Now, I don't believe in crypto. I've told you this. I believe in gold and silver. But I do love what Brian Armstrong just said, that he's a crypto guy, Bitcoin guy, Coinbase guy. He said, until we realize that our financial system is broken because fractional lending, because money printing, those two things will sink us. He said it will destroy our dollar, destroy our economy. And he's making great points. He's saying this at Davos too. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't believe that he is right with crypto either, because I do believe that even though it may be called quote-unquote decentralized, I think it can be utilized by bigger players and you can be manipulated. Now, it can't be printed. That's true. But the bottom line is they can split that coin and keep splitting it and just to make up their own money again. That's why it goes back to gold and silver and all this stuff that I have on the shelf. It comes down to what you have that you can tangibly hold, that you can know that those assets have been around for thousands upon thousands of years. So with Peter Schiff saying that the great market crisis is coming, did you hear me a few days ago say that California, Illinois, and New York, all those are in complete disarray when it comes to their pension plans? Social Security is struggling. It doesn't have enough money. We've talked about that. And you're telling me that Congress is still blowing money like crazy? We're still giving money to 193 countries? What we're seeing is probably true with what Peter Schiff said. And if the Democrats can use that, and if it happens before election and it gets them the midterm wins, they're going to keep on trying to spend money. They're going to keep on trying to cause havoc because that's exactly what they want, because it puts Trump out of power, puts them back in power, especially in the Senate and Congress. And guess what? they're going to get rid of all the things that we've done good that are somewhat Senate Congress has done a little bit. But because Senate Congress are wasting our time and not actually doing anything and keeping the filibuster and the blue slip in, we're the ones losing. And the Democrats are going to end up winning, all because weak Republicans. I want to bring up one thing Trump said in the interview yesterday, and I thought that was so good. He stated, what people don't realize, and what I'm not going to tell you, is that America has deterrence and defense weapons and artillery nobody knows about. He says, and they were talking about the fact of the sonic weapons, and we've mentioned that, direct energy weapons and things like that. He said, we're not going to talk about them because ultimately that's our point of having some of these things safe and secure. He said, but we are the ones that can take over any situation and any problem in the world. When you have a leader who's willing to stand up and brag on America and cheerlead for America instead of people like Gavin Newsom over there dogging us out, and Barack Obama going on apology tours when he was president, and Biden being a nursing home patient eating some ice cream. This is why we have, you may not like Trump, but he is our best case scenario right now. And when he's willing to cheerlead for us and his people are willing to go over to Davos, to the most quote-unquote powerful man in the world, and literally tell them just like it is and speak harshly to them, that's what true leadership looks like. We need more of that. We need the fact that we do have unbelievable weaponry that they don't know anything about. We do need to make sure that we are securing our future with AI or crypto and gold and silver, all that stuff. But ultimately, the people letting us down is the bureaucratic class and Senate and Congress. So do we want Trump to win? Do we want cheerleading to win? Do we want American exceptionalism? Do we want America first? All that's great. But until we have better leadership in Washington from our representation, no matter how good Trump is or his administration is, we're not going to get a lot done. So my push at the very end of this video is, please do not keep electing the same people to do the same thing, to ultimately lie to you and tell you they're going to start working for you, because they're not. And the bureaucracy needs to go. The blue slip needs to go. The filibuster needs to go. It's going to take people standing up, not just one or two people calling their senators, not just 40% of the evangelicals voting. It's going to take the 75 million people, the majority of Americans that did vote. It's going to take us pushing our Congress and Senate to do their job. And I hope Elon Musk keeps investing in political, right-wing political conservatives to push against the rhinos too, because I think that's going to be a pressure that they may not can handle. Now, I want to end with one more thing. This is a personal note. You know, we've been going through a struggle with Jennings and type 1 diabetes and trying to figure out what our next case is. This has really thrown us for a loop because, you know, we believe in sustainability, independence, and when all of a sudden you tell me that a doctor, pharmaceutical, you know, a doctor or pharmacy or some kind of med that he has to have for the rest of his life, unless we can fix it miraculously or spiritually, pray over it and heal his body with diets, that he has to be on that for the rest of his life. That scares me, and it's overwhelming. And you know, you guys messaging me and sending us letters and emailing me means the world to us. We've had several doctors, we've had several people reach out, we've had several letters, and we love those. Please keep sending them because they're encouraging to us. We love when people handwrite letters to us. It means the world to us. I'm not going to say his full name, but there was a gentleman named Dr. Don that sent us just an overwhelmingly nice letter. And of course, he gave a gift in there too, a financial gift, and he didn't have to do that. Again, we're not asking y'all to do that. But y'all just don't know how much that impacts us. Not just the money, but just the words of encouragement. The fact that you're praying for us. That means the world to us. You know, I used to not be worried about things like, you know, civil unrest or world issues. Because I knew that, of course, spiritually we're going to be okay, but I knew that we have provided for ourselves pretty well, even down to medicines and things like that. And I've got a great story, a great testimony coming up in the next few days over some medicine situations with a provider. But to have this guy who doesn't know us and watches us on here, and Dr. Don, you know who you are, send us a letter, send us, you know, a gift that he didn't have to send us, means the world to us. And again, your cards, your letters, your prayers more than anything mean the world to us. Those things scare me now. Because guess what? I depend on insulin for my son. I depend on some kind of medicine to make sure he's balanced out. And that worries me. You know, a big part of Europe sends a lot of insulin over here. That scares me. I've been trying to stockpile. And I've got some great stories on that. But I'm having to go to a doctor and pharmacy and beg. And now, yes, I have worked it out, but this has been a tough week. And again, I cannot thank the people who write letters, who give us things, and who gives encouragement, who says they're praying for us, gives us their thoughts on it because they're going through it. It means everything to me. So again, I humbly thank you, Dr. Don. I humbly thank all the people that's wrote us, all the other doctors that's wrote us, because it does mean the world to us. We have a great story coming out on Life of Colby Mack. I'm going to explain it to you in the next few days. It's so special to me, and I can't wait to share it to you. Guys, thank you for watching. These stories do make us think. But ultimately, if we rely on Christ, we hold a physical Bible, we pray over these things, it will all be okay. But it's going to take us being aware and awaken and prepare. That's all it takes. And making sure that we have the right people leading us. And the Senate and Congress has let us down tremendously. It's time to start changing some of those guys. And we can change them. We can. But it's going to take us being wise with who we vote for in the primaries. Not the general, the primaries. Let's think about that and start doing better. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.
Be free.